Mr. Brown.
The reason why people buy from you, the reason why people want to talk to you, the reason why people will invite you places is simply off of your personal brand. All a personal brand is it's almost like an extension of yourself. So personal branding happens when all of the platforms that you may be on, all of the things that you say, the way you dress, the way you smell, the way you operate, all of these things go hand in hand into your personal brand. So you want them to be cohesive, but you also want them to speak to who you are and what you represent, right? So my personal brand, Mr. Brown, is centralized around me and how I operate. The way I think, the way I move, the way I dress, the way I smell, the things I talk about. All of these things are directed to express who I am personally, and that is simply your brand. Like, that's literally all your brand. Why do people buy from you? Sometimes it's not even about how established you are in a certain sector, but more so the personal branding side. Who are you as a human? What do you believe in? Right? And in business, a lot of times you want to stray away from the politics, you want to stray away from religion, you want to stray away from all of the things that may cause conflict. You'll know when to gauge it, because there are times where you have to express who you are into your politics and into the things you believe in. But realistically, as long as you're keeping an upbeat, vibrant vibe to you, you're good. So your personal branding is literally an extension of who you are, but sometimes you have to boost it and give it energy. Give it a little more energy than your average, right? But keep it authentic. You want to always be authentically yourself. And that's why I say you have to fearlessly go against yourself to break yourself, so that you can always tell the truth about who you are. Your personal brand is literally who you are, an extension of who you are. And so you want it to be in tip-top shape. And when anything threatens it, you want to make sure that you get it under control quickly. All of that feeds into your brand identity, right? And this is why I say you have to work on your skills and hone them in on an interpersonal level, along with like almost speech. If you suck at storytelling, you better learn it quickly, because your personal brand is really revolved around how well you can tell your story and how well people can associate themselves with your story. How relatable is your story? But if you're a terrible storyteller, how can you attract people? All brands are storytelling. You're basically conveying who and what you are to an audience. And that's a brand right there. Right? And the better you get at that, then you can understand how digital marketing can then boost yourself through the roof. But it all starts at your personal brand. My business it has a feel of its own, right? It has its own identity. But again, if I'm the operator and I'm stepping in to represent my brand, you better damn sure know that my personal brand is going to be in tip-top shape and alongside adjacent to my business brand, right? So Unruly and Mr. Brown are tightly knitted together because I have to, because your business is an extension of your personal brand. So it makes sense for them to be on par, and you always want them to be on par. The closer they are related, the better it is, and the better chances you are at closing deals and attracting a bigger audience. If you're looking to start your personal brand, first of all, you want to go on like a GoDaddy, a Namecheap, somewhere to buy a domain, right? And buy the domain to your own name. So for me, it's Dwight Brown. I'm also looking for Mr. Brown, right? You want your own you want your personal brand to be your name. You want your name to be relevant, right? Because your personal brand is just an extension of you. So go on these sites where you can buy a domain and buy your domain, right? That's your name. Create a website that's built around your name and the services that you provide, right? And who you are, your interests. Because as soon as someone calls out your name or wants to figure out, they can simply just go on your website and see who you are, right? So you wanna get these things down pat. You wanna optimize all of your social media platforms. If you really are serious about digital marketing and making real money in digital marketing, you wanna be able to market yourself fully and thoroughly. However, if your Instagram looks like dog shit, right? Your YouTube videos are dog shit, and your TikTok is dog shit, or whatever platforms you want to use are dog shit, then what does that say about you? Dog shit, Right. So what you want to do is make sure you're posting yourself on Instagram. You want to stay relevant to the people that are watching you, right? And Instagram's almost just like a little, I would say like a resume to your image, because people go to, as soon as someone wants to get to know you, they're either going to ask for your number or your Instagram, realistically. So you want to make sure you have up-to-date photos on your Instagram, right? That gives some sort of emotion towards who you are, right? You want to post on your story some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you post your gym flicks. Maybe you post what you're doing, right? And get used to it, right? And then you go on YouTube and you make videos, right? That are aligned with the things that you believe in that you're showing on Instagram. So once you do that, all you have to do is then show people your Instagram, have your links in your bio, tell a little bit about yourself in your bio on Instagram, your bio on TikTok, your bio on YouTube, and they all just will then revolve around each other, because if all your links are in each one of your bios, people can find you easily, right? Because if you don't have these things aligned, then people will maybe go on your Instagram, see amazing photos, right? And then you go on YouTube, and then you're talking about a whole different subject, or you're being someone who you're not really, like you don't care about, right? So people can't really get a grasp of who you are. And when people are unsure or wavering about who you are, then what? What does that mean? You're gonna lose trust. And all brands is trust. What makes good brands great are the fact that people trust them. They have a big backing of trust. You have to make people trust you, right? And you have all that means then, if you want people to trust you, what you do is you have to consistently be more of yourself, consistently be authentic, consistently put out content of yourself doing the things that you are. Right? So I put up a video a day on YouTube because this is what I do every single day, like every day of my life, is digital marketing, self-improvement, and business. So I'm gonna push that non-stop, right? And I'm trying to help men get into the sense that you need to make a lot of money, and you need to do it relatively quickly. You don't know what time will tell. Right? You don't know what's gonna happen, but I'd rather you have a strong foundation of understanding yourself, understanding how to do certain things, understanding how business works, understanding how interpersonal connections work, understanding how to market yourself, understanding how to market others and sell that as a service, right? There's so many things that you can do, but it all starts with a personal brand, and you can practice with your own brand first. And many times it sounds very cliche, but the reason why people don't make it and aren't successful, and I've done it before as well, is you're not consistent. You want to have that consistency. People have to trust you, one, and people will trust you over consistency. If I continue to upload these videos day after day after day after day after day, and you check in every single day and you see a video, you're gonna know, okay, he's serious. Then you might hear me out a little more. Then you get more information about who you are, who the person that you're dealing with is, right? And then you're gonna trust me a little bit more. Right? So it's all about being consistent and keeping the narrative around being authentically yourself. So whatever you're interested in, display that. That's why you should make content about what you do, like your life, and document and see how changes, like how your brand changes over time. Always document. You almost want to be writing things down all the time about what's going on. Like when I write in my brand journal, it talks about the things that are changing, the things that are shifting, so that when you're a year from now and you look back and you're like, oh, this is where I was, but this is where I am now. This is our changes that help me. And then you can speak to it to other people and show them how they can do it for themselves. So if you don't have a personal brand yet, I implore you to click on that link in the bio, because all we're gonna do is go back and forth with each other to help each other build and be stronger, and so that your brand will build, and that you can take all the information and wisdom that I drop to you on in an email and implement it in your own brand. Personal branding is not something you should take lightly, because it will take you farther and further and further. And just like how we talked about networking, it will help you in networking. It will help you close deals. It will help you be more interesting when you're talking to people. Right? So if you're scared, again, get over your fears and jump in and make everything cohesive when it comes to your personal brand. Be authentically yourself. Master communication and storytelling, right? And stay consistent. The number one rule for branding is staying consistent. You need people to trust you. And the only way people will trust you is if you stay consistent. You got this, bro. Hit that link in the bio. I'll see you on the next one.
Boy, Mr. Brown.